Tyler, the Creator, is seen as an artist who often pushes the boundaries, blurring the lines between chaos and creativity, as well as controversy and brilliance. But beyond his ability to tell stories through bold visuals, raw lyricism, and genre-defying music, there's no denying that Tyler has become one of the most strategic, creative entrepreneurs of our time. So how did a rebellious kid from Los Angeles who started by making beats in his bedroom go on to build a multi-million-dollar creative empire spanning music, fashion, festivals, as well as timeless genius branding? Let's break down exactly what makes Tyler a low-key business genius worth studying and how his DIY mentality turned him into a true cultural force. To understand how Tyler was able to turn his raw creativity into an empire without ever compromising his vision, we've got to go back to where it all started.
People just think I rap, don't know I do a lot.
Before he was a Grammy-winning artist, a fashion designer, or a festival curator, Tyler was just a rebellious teenager with a laptop, a vision, and an unshakable belief that he could build something bigger than himself. Most artists tend to rely on record labels, who in turn provide them with marketing teams and industry cosigns to get noticed. Tyler, however, he did the exact opposite. Instead of waiting for approval, he decided to form a crew that would align with a shared vision that allowed them to create their own wave. Using platforms like Tumblr, YouTube, and MySpace, they built a cult-like following long before social media marketing was even a thing. Tyler would creatively direct and design his own album covers, direct his own music videos, and even produce his own beats, all before major labels even knew who he was. While most artists waited to be discovered, Tyler was busy building his own platform. Odd Future was not like any other rap groups. They became a movement, a rebellious, chaotic, and unapologetically DIY collective that disrupted the music industry. And that wasn't by accident. Tyler understood something that most artists did not. He understood that full creative control is more than how you choose to express yourself. It was a deliberate business strategy that gave him the power to shape his brand, his audience, and his legacy on his own terms. Unlike most rising artists who go on to sign restrictive deals for exposure, Tyler kept control of his music, his visuals, and his creative direction. Odd Future was his biggest statement on how music could bridge the gap between artistry and brand building, turning raw creativity into a movement with a strong, loyal community. Tyler used his talent for making music as the blueprint to build an entire universe, one where his fans weren't just listeners, but they were a part of the experience. And that universe was about to expand beyond music, transforming into a cultural movement designed to break boundaries and rewrite the rules of creativity. Tyler understood that music was just a starting point, a foundation for something way bigger. While most artists focus solely on streams and album sales, he recognized that true cultural influence required more than just sound. He saw an opportunity where many artists looked the other way. What he saw was the power of fashion and branding to shape and impact culture. At a time where, for most artists, having merch is just an afterthought that always followed the same basic formula, basic t-shirts and hoodies with a logo or album cover slapped on, Tyler decided to take a completely different approach. Instead of treating Golfwang as just another merch line, he built an entire fashion identity that reflected his creative world. Golfwang became known for its bold, bright colours, unconventional patterns, and playful designs, which were a sharp contrast to the dark, minimalist aesthetics that dominated streetwear at the time. Rather than simply following trends, Tyler created his own lane in the fashion space, and he built an aesthetic that stood out from anything else that was on the market. But beyond just this design, Golfwang was a strategic business move. Long before Golfwang became a staple in streetwear, Tyler had a working relationship with Supreme, a brand known for its limited drops and its cult-like following. As a teenager, he was a regular at the Supreme store in Los Angeles, forming connections with the brand and even appearing in their early campaigns. Being immersed in that world, Tyler saw firsthand how Supreme built its hype through scarcity, dropping limited edition collections that sold out almost instantly. When it came time to build Golfwang, he applied that same blueprint but with his own creative twist. Instead of the classic red and white Supreme aesthetic, Tyler went the opposite direction. Bright colours, bold patterns, and an unapologetically playful approach to streetwear. Like Supreme, he kept Golfwang's releases exclusive, dropping collections in limited quantities which naturally fueled demand. Each drop became an event, selling out almost instantly and making every new release even more sought after. But unlike Supreme, which often played into a more mysterious underground appeal, Tyler made Golfwang feel personal, as if every piece was a direct extension of his personality, and that's what set it apart. By blending the proven strategy of Supreme's scarcity model with his own unique vision, Tyler turned Golfwang into more than just a merch line. It became a contender in the fashion world and a cultural statement. However, Tyler's plan was beyond building hype. His plan was to build ownership.
What about the graphics and stuff for some of these t-shirts?
Most of them, Tyler designs all of them just because I know he's just been doing it since the beginning.
He refused to rely on retail partnerships or licensing deals, and he kept everything in-house. This meant that he retained artistic control of the design, production, and sales, cutting out any middlemen and ensuring that Golfwang remained an independent brand and not just an extension of his music. Tyler's vision was intact and the plan was coming together seamlessly, but then he decided to take things a step further. Instead of limiting Golfwang to an online presence or makeshift merch tables on tour, he opened a physical store in LA, solidifying it as a legitimate fashion label. This wasn't just an artist's side project anymore. It was now a brand with its own identity, space, and dedicated following. But for Tyler, this wasn't enough to satisfy his relentless creative drive. This was still just the beginning. Golfwang was one small piece of a larger world he was creating, a world that would soon evolve into something even bigger, the birth of a living, breathing extension of his vision, an immersive space where music, fashion and culture collided, a place where fans weren't just spectators, but an even deeper, more connected part of the experience. This was the creation of Camp Flognaw, a full-blown festival that turned his movement into a shared cultural phenomenon. Camp Flognaw wasn't just another music festival, it was an extension of Tyler's world, a place where his vision could exist in real life. Unlike major festivals backed by corporations, Camp Flognaw was 100% independent, built from the ground up without the industry's usual gatekeepers. And like everything else Tyler created, it wasn't made to fit the mold. Instead of just setting up a lineup of mainstream artists, he designed the festival like an amusement park, inspired by his lifelong love for theme parks like Six Flags and Disneyland. From carnival rides and colourful, larger-than-life set pieces to hand-picked performances that blended hip-hop, alternative and underground sounds, Camp Flognaw felt like an extension of his creativity, a space that merged music, fashion and culture into one immersive experience. And that's exactly what made it genius. Camp Flognaw, which by the way was a play on the words Golfwang, quickly became an annual tradition. Every year, fans were given the opportunity to step into a world that Tyler had built from scratch. It became a yearly cultural event, strengthening the brand's identity beyond just music and fashion. An ecosystem where artists, brands and fans wouldn't just coexist but feed off each other's energy, creating an immersive experience that set Camp Flognaw apart from nearly every other festival. From exclusive merch drops you could only get if you were there to unique on-site experiences, every detail was curated to make attendees feel like they were a part of something special. It became a cultural landmark, a place where creativity, community and exclusivity merged into one unforgettable experience, one that sold out every single year. Camp Flognaw became one of the most anticipated events in music culture. No massive ad campaigns, no radio promos, just pure organic hype, and a testament to Tyler's ability to build demand without playing by the industry's rules. At this point, he had mastered the art of turning creativity into a movement. But here's what makes Tyler different. He never stops. For most artists, this level of success would probably be the peak. But for Tyler, it was just another stepping stone. Because what he was building, it wasn't just a festival or a fashion brand or a music career. He was building a legacy. While artists today continue to follow the industry blueprints, Tyler continues to burn it all down and rely on building his own path. No label mandated rollouts, no industry gatekeepers, just pure organic hype. While others rely on big marketing budgets, Tyler turned scarcity into demand, dropping projects unannounced, letting word of mouth do the heavy lifting. Every move, every album, every fashion drop, every festival, it feels like an extension of him, because he remains deliberate about his vision. And while most artists stay in one lane, Tyler's building a multiverse of worlds that people want to be a part of. Music was just a foundation. From streetwear to festivals to media ventures, he's expanded his empire without ever diluting his identity. This isn't just branding, it's world building. And that's the biggest lesson. Tyler did it all by thinking outside the industry norms, staying true to his vision, and turning his art into a value-based experience. So consider this. If you want to build something real, something that lasts, you shouldn't just create for the sake of creating. Aim to use your artistic vision to create a world where people don't just admire your work, they immerse themselves in it, making the experience the most valuable thing you have to offer. That kind of value isn't just the key to success, it's the foundation of a lasting legacy.